evening, welcome to Central News for Friday the 20th of December. I'm Hilary Entwistle. Tauranga Community Food Bank shelves will be full over the holidays thanks to a $6,000 donation from Port of Tauranga staff. Over the past several years, the port company has developed the tradition of donating the money that would have been spent on gifts to customers to local charities. This year, as well as ensuring the food bank shelves are filled, the Port of Tauranga is donating $4,000 to KidsCan for specific use in Tauranga and the Bay of Plenty. Port of Tauranga CEO Mark Ken says this year we are again supporting the Tauranga Community Food Bank Trust as their services are clearly in demand in the current economic environment, and they know that a donation to the food bank will mean that every single dollar will be spent on food. A brand new set of tsunami evacuation signs in Mount Maunganui are being hailed as a simple and easy solution to helping point people in the right direction in case of a tsunami. Members of a joint initiative between Tauranga City Council, Civil Defence and Tauranga Police unveiled 15 signs and information boards between Mawao and Banks Avenue west at the Mount. Council Emergency Management and Safety Manager Paul Bonton says using signs and information boards is easily the most universal way to communicate with people about what steps to take during a tsunami and where the safe zone is. Information on the signs, predominantly on Maunganui Road, Marine Parade and the Mall, points to Mawao as the nearest safe zone for everyone who is within walking distance of the mountain. Now for our region's weather for the weekend, Hamilton, your Saturday will have a few cloudy periods with a westerly. Your expected high is 22 and an overnight low of 14. Saturday for you, Tauranga, will be fine with a few sea breezes. Your expected high is 23 and an overnight low of 13. Hamilton, Sunday, a few morning showers and then it will fine up with a southwesterly. Your expected high is 23 and an overnight low of 10. Sunday, again, Tauranga will be fine. Your expected high is 25 and an overnight low of 16. Just ahead, Central News visits one of the smallest populations in our regions. Welcome to Central News on TV Central. It is well and truly summer now, and the warmer weather usually means more time in the water for most of us. But of course, like most things in life, there is a risk, and New Zealand has one of the highest drowning rates per capita in the OECD. We're nearly twice that of Australia. However, New Zealand achieved the second lowest drowning rate last year since records began. Initiatives from organisations like Water Safety have helped with the decrease. I spoke with Corey from Water Safety New Zealand to find out about the latest initiative, Kia Manu Kia Ora, Stay Afloat, Stay Alive.
Kia Manu Kia Ora is the Māori initiative, and basically the objective of it is to reduce Māori drowning, which is overrepresented in New Zealand. So Māori stats are around 25% each year, although we have seen a reduction in year 2 of the Kia Manu Kia Ora project, which is fantastic. The project has 3 key focus areas, that's swim and survive, boat education and leadership. And I guess the focus point for Matakana over the last month or 2 months has been around swim and survive, which is where the portable pool comes in. So the portable pool obviously has the pure objective is to raise swimmability. We know Māori communities have a connection with Tangaroa, and it's important that they do that safely. So the portable pool provides an opportunity for them to swim and learn swim and survive skills in a controlled environment before taking those skills into the ocean environment, which we've seen today. So we have 2 portable pools, one which rotates through Waikato and Bay of Plenty, and the other one through Hawke's Bay and Gisborne. And it generally stays there between 1 and 2 terms, so kids get the opportunity to swim every day, which is pretty cool.
Who's behind the project? Who's backing it and helping out?
So Active Post are our principal partner in this project, and they're the ones responsible for the portable pools and making sure that they get into communities, which is fantastic. We are very fortunate enough in a couple of opportunities that we've had, for example Matakana, where Fonterra have come on board. They've filled the pool, which has been fantastic. It does take 50,000 litres of water, so on small islands that can drain small communities of water for some time. So we're very fortunate to have Fonterra on this occasion. And we have partners in the project who are responsible for delivery, and some of that delivery is around upskilling and empowering Kayako to be able to deliver the project. So once the portable pool does move on to a new community, that the Kayako are able to continue with that teaching and instructing of Swim and Survive.
Obviously we're in summer, and for a lot of New Zealanders that does mean spending more time by the beach and in the ocean. What are some generic water safety tips that you can share with us?
Summer is a very important time for us, and obviously the more people that are engaging and recreating in water also means that there are more at risk at drowning or injury. So we have some key messages that we send out. Those particularly relate to things such as boating, life jackets. When recreating in water and you are on boats, to make sure that you are wearing a life jacket, or at least you've got them on board, and probably more importantly that they fit. So making sure that you have life jackets that fit for everybody that is on board. When you are out and about, make sure you've got two forms of communication. So if you are in trouble, that you need to communicate with someone, you can, and also that you're communicating with people prior to leaving on your day out fishing. And I think when we're talking about young kids, under fives especially, we're talking about supervision. So they are at risk, and we know what kids are like when they're at the beach. They run around and it's very hard to keep track of them. So it's really important that we're within sight and within reach, so if anything does happen, we can act quickly and prevent drowning or any sort of injury around water.
That's the ocean. Another body of water that New Zealanders like to swim in is rivers and lakes. What's the water safety around rivers?
Absolutely, yeah. Rivers in New Zealand are probably our most at-risk environment. We do find that high drowning statistics in rivers are around 30% each year. So it's really important that if you are recreating in water, by all means go and have fun, but it's about being smart, making good decisions, and if you are in doubt around your environment, the weather conditions or the people that you're around, then stay out.
Pacific and Asian communities are highly represented in drowning rates in New Zealand. Why is that?
Yes, we have found Pacific and Asian, Pacific for some time have been overrepresented in the drowning statistics, and recently the Asian statistics have started increasing as well. Generally it's around understanding of New Zealand waterways. They aren't used to some of the tidal waterways that we have, and activities in which that they partake in their own countries perhaps aren't as user-friendly or safe in New Zealand. And so it's around making sure that you understand your waterway and you've got the right equipment and you do the activity safely. And I think that relates more to Pacific than Asian. In Asian it's really around understanding and level of skills and education. So our focus around those two ethnic groups is around education, upskilling, and making them understand as much as possible so that they can also use our beautiful waterways and stay safe.
What are some of the statistics around our ability to swim as New Zealanders?
So New Zealanders, we focus really on primary school students, and we have a benchmark of 200 metres for 12-year-olds, and by the time they reach that's our goal, that's our optimum. Currently we're tracking around 30%, and that's probably around 200,000 kids that we've been tracking. So while we've moved from around 11% 2 or 3 years ago, we're still a long way off that 200 metre mark. But to put that into perspective, if I use Matakana as an example, before we came in with the portable pool, we had 25% of the kids at the school that could swim 15 metres. So after a swim a day for 2.5 months, we've got that up to 70%. So while there's a big progression and some really great achievements there, we've got a long way to go.
200 metres, that's the benchmark. Why have you decided on 200 metres?
So 200 metres is the benchmark that we've basically come up with, that we feel that if you are at risk or in trouble, that's the distance that you need to be able to swim to get out of that safely and survive. So that's basically the line in the sand that we've drawn, and that's what we're working towards.
Coming up next, we speak with the principal of the Matakana Primary School. Welcome back. Matakana Island is situated in the Tauranga Harbour with a population of 250 people. It could be one of the smaller centres in our regions. Central News visited the island to find out about the portable pool the kids have been learning to swim in.
Firstly, it's given the students an opportunity to utilise the pool locally. Previously, in the years gone by, we've had to take our kids to town to do swimming, and that was at a huge cost onto the school and the parents. So this year, with having the pool here, you know, we've had the pool right in our backyard, and the kids have been able to participate in training, swimming every day. And the teachers are also going through the same training program with Water Safety New Zealand. So the opportunities with this pool being on site has been has had a huge impact on the school.
And so the kids are using it every day?
Yeah, every day. We've got sessions for the taina, our younger students, in the morning, and then in the middle part of the school of the day, our older students get to use the pool, and so the teachers are rotating as well. So we all get to have a turn in the pool. Water Safety New Zealand also come with guidelines, goals that they want to set for the children to learn. So that's all part of the assessment in the swimming as well. So yeah, for the last term, the pool has played a major part in our daily curriculum. And so what we've also tried to incorporate too with the pool is to include the other curriculum areas in using the pool as well. So not only is it for health and safety and for physical fitness, but we're also looking for the older students. They were looking at it in terms of the maths program as well, and also part of our literacy program in terms of the impacts of the pool, what they've enjoyed most in the pool, and just included that into their writing as well.
How have the kids taken it? Because the swimming pool, I imagine, is quite different to the ocean.
Yeah, definitely. Firstly, well, the pool's heated, so you know there's that added bonus that that you know they can stay in the water for a bit longer. It's not so cold. Even if the day's overcast, you know we can use the pool. In previous years, we've used the ocean, we've used the local wharf, and also around our school we have a bit of a swimming area as well. But that's all tide dependent. So if the tides aren't suitable for the day, then we're unable to swim for usually a week. Down at the wharf, we have to sort of contend with currents, jellyfish, boats coming in and out, and so there's safety issues as well down at the wharf, and it's quite deep. One of the benefits of the pool is that it's not so deep for our older kids, and that we also, because the pool's only in a small area, you know, we're closely linked to the kids for safety. You know, we're just at our arm's reach away, just in case something goes wrong. Water Safety New Zealand have also provided life jackets and other flotational devices for our kids to use, so that's been really, really helpful in our program with the swimming. So yeah, we're being on an island, you know, we're surrounded by water, but there's sort of limitations in terms of how you can utilise that water for good training, for good learning to do with swimming.
And how much is life about the sea here on Matakana Island?
It's a huge part of life. From our older generation to our younger generation, everyone partakes in the ocean in some way or another. The main purpose for the ocean is for collecting kai. If you speak to any of the children at the school, they'll tell you where to set the net, how to set the net, what types of fish they can catch in certain areas on the island, and it's all year round. They can also tell you where the oysters are, where the pipis are, and where the different kaimoana are. So, and this is a traditional values that have been handed down from generation to generation, which is one of the luxuries of living on an island. You know, you learn to live off the land and pretty much live off the sea, and so the purpose of Tangaroa, or the ocean at the moment, is a place of collecting kai. What the pool has, or the opportunity that the school has got through the pool, is that we're able to teach the kids a bit more skills in swimming, and to be a bit more conscious about safety issues in the water, and that's been probably one of the benefits from having this pool. Is about the safety issues, the statistics, especially for Māori in the water. They're really bad in terms of drownings, and we are quite aware of that on the island. So this opportunity that Active Post have given us as well, through sponsoring these portable pools, has had a huge impact on the school.
And do you think this project in the swimming pool has taught maybe the locals to respect Tongaroa a little bit more?
I think the respect for Tangaroa has always been there, and I guess it's just broadening the awareness about the uses in the use of life jackets, for instance. The respect for Tangaroa has always been there for the locals. I guess this is just broadening their knowledge of how best to be safe in the water.
Just ahead, we find out what the kids have learnt. If you have just joined us, welcome to Central News. Māori make up for 15% of the population in New Zealand, but unfortunately make up nearly a quarter of our drowning statistics. Water Safety's project Kia Manu Kia Ora brings portable pools to rural Māori schools whose children may never have the chance to learn basic water skills. I spoke with the kaiako to find out what the kids of Te Kura o Te Mauteri o Matakana have learnt in the water this term.
Initially it's all about getting water here and getting the kids back into the water in a controlled environment, so that's why we've got the pool here. And then from that it's about taking those skills and those understandings of water and bringing them out here to the open ocean. We've got to appreciate that Matakana Island's surrounded by water, and that for a lot of our kids, particularly a lot of our Māori kids, they're not getting the same opportunities to get in water every day and do swim lessons. Having said that too, we also, coming from a kaupapa Māori point of view, we also want them to not just engage in how to swim, but how to also take the understandings of what they live and do every day in their own backyard and apply them. And that's like going fishing, going surfing, going to set a net in places like this. And to have those skills, those basic skills of survival, perhaps more so, in and around the water, and to have that and knowing that life jackets are good to have, good equipment's good to have, and the understandings of the environment, knowing low tide, knowing high tide, knowing that there's good winds. And we've been really fortunate today to have westerly winds out here on this Tauranga Kau or Matakana Island, and that's perfect conditions for what we wanted to do today, which was to really bring the kids out and play in their own backyard. And Matakana Island is renowned throughout the surfing world as one of the best places in New Zealand to surf, and it's unfortunate that a whole lot of these kids don't do it. And this is their backyard and they don't surf. And that's probably a missed generation of kids not surfing. And we wanted to get them out here and give them a day of fun, give them a day in their own backyard of good conditions, bring some good equipment over. That's the other thing, a lot of the kids don't have that type of equipment over here. So that was our goal today, to bring that type of equipment and just really enjoy the day, and to look at what they've enjoyed in the, what they've actually learnt in the pool, and that in controlled environment. And that's where it all started, is to give that nurture, that environment of being nurtured, of just showing them, bringing their skills up to speed, and then saying, well, you've done a really good term of all of that in the pool, let's go and try it out in the sea.
And what do you think the teachers have come away with?
Well, I think the teachers have, I think that's a kind of a two-pronged answer there. First of all, I think that the teachers have realised that one, having a controlled environment really will help their whole program. It's very hard for them to conduct their swimming lessons in an open water environment. So I think that's two. I think it's for me, it's helped to encourage and hopefully empower them to take that responsibility back and actually get their teaching, not just any teachings, but actually the teachings of perhaps of tikanga Māori and things Māori. You know, in the old days, there's stories of Hinemoa and how she crossed Lake Rotorua and that. Well, she didn't just swim, she also used, you know, hue and calabashes, and when Māori came here and perhaps in canoes, they had strategies for being safe. And so it's about trying to think back to those times and say, well, come on kids, there's a whole lot more here to learn than just swimming. It's about, well, what did our ancestors do? How did they apply their teachings to water to be safe, to keep their own people safe? And, you know, let's kind of open the book again and start to think outside the box and talk about those types of things. So not just about swimming freestyle, beautiful bilateral breathing with your finger on a pitch of 45-degree angle. It's about, well, what would be a stroke that you might want to learn if you fell off the wharf while you're down there waiting for the barge, and what would be a good stroke to get you back to the end? You know, whether it be dog paddle, whether it be side stroke, rolling on your back and using survival backstroke, those types of ways of doing things, more akin to perhaps the environment that they live and breathe every day.
So why is a project like this so important?
Well, I think it's really important just from where we live and where we are in New Zealand. I also think it's important because I think that in today's society, particularly in around schools, the pools that used to kind of keep us all intact are all old now, and they're all getting filled in or getting made into gardens. And so our children don't have the opportunities that they used to have. Perhaps when we were a little bit younger, it was swimming every day. It was part of the curriculum. Today it's only opportunities to learn how to swim. And therefore you could show them a video, or you could just do a theory session in the classroom, and that's really covering a curriculum standard. You can tick that box. It's not compulsory anymore to teach kids to swim. So I think that's important, and I think it's really good that our teachers can also get back into it, because I think we're also seeing a generation of teachers that haven't been upskilled through their teaching, and they're now a little bit either standoff, and unless they have a passion for water and learning and being out there on the water, then they're not really going to apply that in school, and they're just going to do what they need to do, which is obviously tick that box. So I think there's lots of ways to look at it, but obviously I think it's a really good, because I think water does more to us than we really appreciate, particularly in Māoridom. For us, water's everything in a way. It's our fridge, it's our backyard, it's who we are when we stand up and say where we're from. Or, you know, tauranga moana, well then that people know that that's where you're from. We're from Waikato, ko Aotearoa, ko Te Ao ko Au, I'm the river and the river is me. That's really quite close and personal to the people, but it's also all their histories. So I think if we lose the perhaps access to our waterways, particularly as Māori, then that's going to be you know, something that we're really going to have to foresee in the future, and we're going to have to get things like the bees out the way. And obviously, yeah, so I think it's good because, you know, water's just a great medium for all types of things, not only for learning swimming, but it's there for our health, it's there for, we've got a lot of Māori people and a lot of people involved in doing triathlons now, Tri-Māori, Iron Māori, and these are things that I never thought Māori would get involved with. But this is changing behaviour, and that's ultimately what we want to do. It's nurturing our whānau, and it's getting everybody in the water.
Well, that sadly is Central News for this year. We are taking a break for Christmas, and we will be returning on the 20th of January 2014. But in the meantime, if you have something you would like us to cover in the new year, let us know by emailing us news@tvcentral.co.nz or like us on Facebook. I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and festive season, and I will see you in the new year.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.